Hello everyone, and welcome to some looking at maps. I'm here, I'm Blues, Pollina, Trad Penguin. We're looking at some of the maps that we're going to be using in the Newcomers tournament this Saturday. This is going to be the map for round 1. And, well, there are a few things that stick out right away. Chem Colony, always one of the first things you want to look at, what the colony's consuming. What else do you two see?
The main thing for me is the difference in price between glass and electronics.
Yeah.
This means to me that I will never ever found robotic or nomadic because they use the electronics to upgrade, and that's a lot more expensive than using glass.
There's also claims on the black market, so we probably don't want to found first.
One more thing that sticks out to me is that all the aluminum is clustered right to the north of the colony.
Yeah.
It's actually literally all the aluminum.
Hmm.
Yeah. So either you found so you can get access to that, or there's a secret trick here. You can find elite. You won't need any aluminum.
What you do is you found expansive and crush most of that aluminum. And then
But you
everyone
can't crush all
suffers.
of it.
I mean, yeah, that makes for a much harder game for you. You don't really have access to other resources in any solid way, but so I would not recommend that for a newer player.
Yeah.
But there are things to recommend it. Aluminum starting high means that gets you off to a bit of a faster start. But yeah,
You have
iron.
double fuel price. It makes shipping resources a bit harder. So if you want to get some iron, then you have to ship it for quite some distance.
And also double power price means that if you're slow upgrading, you're going to probably run into lots of dead issues unless you're starting with a very early power. And I don't mean single power tiles, which you should not do.
I'm looking at two powerful founds. One is a scavenger on the aluminum, because you have some nice carbon up there.
Yeah, that definitely
Or an
seems...
elite by the combo tiles. There's a tile here with high silicon and low carbon. So
Yeah,
you
that's what I'm looking at. But it's quite hard to spot. It's in the west.
Yeah, I see it now.
Mm.
Yeah, those seem like the two strongest founds for sure. After that, you might actually end up wanting to found as robotic, despite the high electronics price, just to get away from some of the aluminum issues. I don't know how you feel about that. Definitely feels better than a scientific found or something like that. And you definitely don't want to found nomadic with the expensive electronics. I guess you could also try to make nomadic work in the aluminum with one found.
How much would you plan around carbon if it's with the chem colony?
I generally like to prioritize carbon when it's either a chem or electronics colony, and especially in this case with its expensive electronics to start and eventually chems, it feels like a nice thing. On the other hand, it's fairly low on the list just because carbon scrubbing is going to be an option, so I don't know.
I feel like the high fuel price makes chems early a bit more prohibitive.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think what you're looking at is a plan to get to HQ2 first and foremost. And that's where the funding close to the aluminum comes in. You're almost guaranteed found upgrade first if you get access to that sooner.
Right, I think one reason why I would be nervous about a scavenger found in the aluminum is just because there are underground nukes available, and once that starts coming on down on your carbon, you don't really have great alternatives.
But in general, the black market is quite strong for scavengers, I think.
Yeah, that's fair to say. Although with private claim, hologram, spy, those are all things that scavengers won't be getting any bonus cooldown
That's
on.
true.
Yeah, if there were no nukes, I would say scavenger for sure. The nukes are very scary. I agree.
Do scavengers get the shorter cooldown for spice?
I think they get the standard 30 seconds. I'm not entirely sure, actually.
Because I thought spice counted as sabotage, but maybe not.
Hmm.
Hard to
I
tell.
guess that's one way to
The
check.
tooltip says 30 seconds, so
Okay.
it does not change.
Okay.
Yeah, what you also want probably when power starts high is a plan to somehow get into power. And both the elite found we highlighted has that by either wind turbines or solar panels with all the silicon and carbon. And also the scavenger found has easy access to wind power with
Yeah.
carbon.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a few geothermal vents on this map.
Right, if you don't manage to pick up either of those two fans, you're probably going to end up as an expansive, in which case geotherms are a reasonable option, or robotic? I still don't know what my fourth found would be. I don't know that I would have founded the scavenger where you did. Although,
Why
I'm
not?
not sure you were.
No, that was exactly what I wanted.
I feel like I would have founded
Would
it
you have
slightly,
crushed?
right, crushed a little more aluminum.
Ah, okay, I can see that. I guess my concern is I want to keep the mediums for when I get nuked, but I'm a bit too scared about nukes.
Yeah, I think there's just enough aluminum in this area that it's probably fine.
Yeah. I think a backup found could be a scientist. They will really suffer from aluminum, but they will be safe from nukes, which is always nice.
That is fair. Right, no pirates are magnetic storms, so they can definitely get away with shipping a lot early. As long as you manage the life support eventually. So, scientist, I don't know where exactly. Okay. It's really only the one solid iron. I guess you could found all the way to the south with the 2 iron, 2 water, or you could found by the bigger
more like
iron
a robot
patch.
found.
Yeah.
Although not really enough space to use the adjacency in the water.
Yeah, it's a bit cramped. I like having nearby carbon though, since it is a chem colony. So what you also need to keep in mind is how to make money going forward. And chems will be good like 5 minutes into the game. So you will want to at least have an option to go into it.
Yeah.
Right. Although, of course, the important thing is you brought up earlier the high fuel price. I think you probably want to get into water reactors before ever going to chems.
Yeah, absolutely. Alright, is there anything else to cover? Alright, with the founding order, the reason you might want to found last here is because the later you found, the sooner black market opens up. So if you lost the found, you will always get a claim for only 2k, which is very cheap.
Also, you definitely don't want to found with 250k of debt, but
yeah.
Hopefully none of you does that.
Yeah, I think I might pay 20,000 for the elite fund. I really like that. Maybe pay 10,000 for the scav fund.
Never have a good idea how much that you can get away with as elite.
Right. I'd be very hesitant recommending a newer player found with a bunch of debt for elite, just because they're just a lot harder to play well.
Yeah.
How do you even place that elite HQ in that spot?
Yeah, right. That's one concern, how to fit it in. But...
Like probably.
Like you have to crush the silicon, or but then it's. Good.
I would probably found in the middle, so something like this.
Oh.
Gets me a bit. I'll end up connecting the water eventually. I can ship in the iron from not too far. Get that done.
I like that because of the superconductor wind turbines possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the single tiles that are blocked off don't really bother me too much because you're always going to have elite, advanced buildings you can put there.
Yeah. Especially as elite. Alright, I think that covers it.